Hearings have been completed, and the legislation will go to the Judicial Committee when the legislation is ready and the appropriate time works out for Tom and him to meet. And they'll announce that at an appropriate time. Tonight we have as council's guests, city elected officials. Tonight we have the law director and mayor. Kendra, do you have a report?
Just briefly, President Keller, my assistant law director and I had the opportunity last Monday to attend the Highway Patrol's refresher for field sobriety testing to aid us, obviously, in the prosecution of OVI and alcohol-related offenses. So I wanted to share that with everybody as we continue to develop ourselves in that side of my job. There's a whole separate side of my job than obviously the legislation. So other than that, that's all I have at this point in time. There's several items of legislation pending, as you can see, for tonight and through committee.
Sure. Thank you very much. Mayor Michelle Blanton.
Good evening, everyone. Since our last meeting, we've celebrated a couple of things here in the city. That being, last week was National Nursing Home Week. So I had the privilege of going into our local nursing homes and providing some proclamations and just spending a little bit of time going in and seeing those who are shut in or not able to get out at post-acute on Outwater Street. They released balloons, and it was just a good time. Was able to really talk to one of the residents up there, and so just appreciated the city being there and recognizing that. We've had Law Enforcement Officers Week last week, and then also last week, Small Nation was here on Tuesday. A few of you joined us. Were able to join us for some of the sessions that we had, some of the conversations. It was really exciting to have them here. Looking forward to their report that they're going to be presenting to us. Thursday was When I Grow Up at Circleville Elementary School. So several of the city employees were over there with our police cruisers and fire trucks. And I tell you all of this to let you know of the things that people that work for the city are doing in the community, getting out to build relationships and truly being community. And then lastly, this Friday at 10 a.m., we will be swearing in our new safety director, Paul Pride, here in council chambers.
That it? Thank you very much. Council, do you have any questions for the elected officials that are here tonight?
Can I just make a quick comment?
Yeah.
I also participated in When I Want to Grow Up Day on behalf of City Council, and my assigned age group was kindergarten.
Ooh.
So I explained city government to kindergartners.
Yeah. Did they get it?
I did my very best.
They'll be running in the fall.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Katie, for doing that. Anyone else? Questions? All right. This is the chance where the public has a chance to address City Council. Would anybody like to address City Council tonight from the public? All right. Melissa, do we have any communications?
Yes, Circleville City Council will hold a public hearing Tuesday, June 17th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in council chambers located in the City Hall Building, 127 South Court Street, second floor, Circleville, Ohio, 43113. The purpose will to be here a preliminary plan unit development number 124 as requested by BR Realty Properties LLC located at parcel ID A35-0-001-00-022-00 and parcel ID A35-0-001-00-023-00 to rezone the property from low density residential to a planned unit development.
Anything else?
That's it.
Can I have a motion to put that communication on file, please? So moved by Jeff Hallinan, seconded by John Moats. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? What was the time? That brings us to the business portion of tonight's meeting. We have 5 pieces of legislation up for first reading. So Melissa, if you'd like to start, go right ahead.
Amending and restating ordinance number 1166, 2010 in order to reestablish, describe, and expand the boundaries of the City of Circleville Community Reinvestment Area, increase the terms and categories of and amend eligibility requirements for certain real property tax exemptions therein, authorizing and approving related matters, and declaring an emergency.
Council, you've heard the first reading of this ordinance from the Judicial Committee. Tom?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I am going to invite our Anna Wynn to come up and talk about this particular ordinance, please. And of course is our city planner.
Anna, welcome.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, so this is to include the planned unit developments as an eligible zoning district for our CRA to be able to offer that CRA tax abatement to planned unit developments. Our CRA is currently limited to commercial zoning districts, so we're just going to expand that out. And Tim, do you have anything to add?
She's got it.
Thank you, Hannah. Just to also acknowledge for the council and the public, the Alto team is here as well. Appreciate them making the trip down to Circleville today. So thank you. Thank you, Hannah. Council, have any other questions or comments about the ordinance?
I will make a motion to extend the rules.
Motion by Tom Klitzis to suspend council rules, seconded by Sherry Tice. Roll call, please, to suspend council rules.
Hedges,
Yes.
Tice,
Yes.
Blitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan,
Yes.
Moats,
Yes.
Lukasak,
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Council rules are suspended. You're free to act on the ordinance. Tom Duval, motion
Proof.
for passage,
Passage.
seconded by Tom Klitzka. Roll call, please.
Hedges,
Yes.
Tice,
Yes.
Blitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan,
Yes.
Moats,
Yes.
Lukasak,
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
The ordinance passes.
And is assigned 5/43/2025. Authorizing the mayor to enter into a residential community reinvestment area agreement for real property located within the Circleville Community Reinvestment Area constituting multifamily facilities, authorizing and approving related matters, and declaring an emergency.
Council, you've heard the first reading of this ordinance again from the Judicial Committee. Tom?
I'm going to invite our city planner up for what probably should be the last thing that we need from her this evening.
I think actually one thing right
One
at the
more.
end, but yeah, so this would be to enter into the CRA agreement specifically for the Alto project. Had to allow PUDs to be eligible, and then we can enter into that agreement with them. So
Great. Thank you, Hannah. Council, you have questions or comments about the ordinance? Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules, please.
Motion to suspend the rules by Tom Spitzka, seconded by Sherry Tice. Roll call, please, on the motion to suspend council rules.
Hedges,
Yes.
Tice,
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Hallinan.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak,
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion for passage, please.
Motion for passage by Tom Klitzka, seconded by Katie Logan Hedges. Roll call, please.
Hedges,
Yes.
Tice,
Yes.
Blitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak,
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
The ordinance passes.
And is assigned 5/44/2025. An ordinance creating the Alto Ryan Homes Tax Increment Financing Incentive Districts, declaring improvements to the parcels within each incentive district to be a public purpose and exempt from real property taxation, requiring the owners of those parcels to make service payments in lieu of taxes, establishing a municipal public improvement tax increment equivalent fund for the deposit of those service payments, requiring the distribution of a portion of those service payments to the Circleville City School District and the Pigway Ross Career and Technology Center, specifying the public infrastructure improvements that benefit or serve parcels in the incentive district, approving a tax increment finance agreement with the developer of the incentive districts and declaring an emergency.
Council, you've heard the first reading of this ordinance from the Strategic Planning Committee. Sherry?
Thank you, President Keller. Yes, we did discuss this at our last meeting on May 6th, and I would like to invite our city planner up to talk about the TIF that this will create.
yeah, I'll invite Tim Colburn, Director of P3, up to add anything else to this. But this is the TIF for the single-family section of the Alto PUD, correct? Yeah, so Ryan Homes is the single-family developer on this, so just establishing the TIF district for that portion.
Just as a reminder, the TIFs were put in place to help the developer with improvements to the site. We have water retention and thoroughfare planning consistent with the city's comprehensive plan. These TIF dollars will be used to get the project on site. Additionally, these have been given to the project based on its merits. And for the tax abatements Tom's committee just did. And these, it'll be done on a case-by-case basis with council and your committee structure's approval, not globally or for every project. It'll be done on each project's merit.
Great.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Council, have other questions or comments? Motion?
Make a motion to suspend the rules?
Motion to suspend the rules by Sherry Tice, seconded by Katie Hedges. Roll call, please, on the motion to suspend council rules.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Hallinan.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Council, you're free to act.
Motion for passage?
Motion for passage by Sherry Tice, seconded by Tom Kutzka. Roll call, please, on the motion for passage.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Hallinan.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
The ordinance passes.
This is signed 5/45/2025. An ordinance declaring the improvements to certain parcels in the city to be a public purpose and exempt from taxation pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 5709-40B, requiring the owners of those parcels to make service payments in lieu of taxes, establishing a municipal public improvement tax increment equivalent fund for the deposit of those service payments, requiring the distribution of a portion of those service payments to the Circleville City School District and the Pickaway Ross Career and Technology Center, specifying the public infrastructure improvements that directly benefit the parcels, approving a tax increment financing agreement, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Melissa. This ordinance is the fourth and final piece of the Alto project. Sherry?
Thank you, President Keller. Yes, this is the part that pertains to AB contracting in the apartments. Tim, Hannah, would you like to speak on this? Either one of you or both?
Yeah, exactly what you just said. This is the TIF on the apartment section of the Alto PUD with AB contracting.
Yeah, similar point, at the council's discretion, your committee structure's discretion, we should also recognize that through this process, we've talked to the schools and the county. So millages within the city that would typically have gone to the school are going to the school, but the county millage is staying with this project. So, hats off to everybody who collaborated to get this done. I think those are just a couple points worth saying about all the legislation.
Yes, thank you. We did have extensive discussion on that in committee, but the schools will not lose any money based on this.
That's correct.
This will just help the developers put in those thoroughfares and
Meet the
Get this-
city's expectations.
meet our expectations. Yes.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Hannah. Council, you have a motion?
Motion to suspend rules.
Motion to suspend the rules by Jeff Howland, second by John Moach. Roll call, please, on the motion to suspend council rules.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Hallinan.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Motion for passage?
Motion for passage by Sherry Tice, seconded by John Moach. Roll call, please, on the motion for passage.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Hallinan.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Ordinance passes.
This is signed 5/46/2025. An ordinance to accept the plat of River Ridge, Section 2, final plat.
Council heard the first reading of this ordinance from the Judicial Committee. Tom?
Yes, sir. This particular situation there, River Ridge, this is the final plat of the development itself out of the 116 homes. So they are moving forward itself. It'll also include on the northern section park for us to add to the city itself. So looking forward to that, and things are developing well. Anything to add? Madam, one more time.
Yes, I actually do have something to add. We have received drafts of the performance bonds for this section of the River Ridge subdivision, but we just haven't had a chance to receive and approve those yet. So I would just request that you make a condition on this, that the performance bonds be reviewed, accepted, and received. So.
That's how we do that.
You can either put the caveat on it or you can table it until we have the acceptance of those performance bonds.
Yeah, I received them after hours today, so I mean, we'll have them in a matter of days.
So
Just
hold for
wasn't.
second reading.
Why don't we hold for a second reading just so it's cleaner and we don't have any concern?
That's fine.
Yeah, since there's no reference to the legislation, it's a very short ordinance.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, we typically would have them beforehand. It just had some delays, so.
So holding it for second reading would be the best path. Okay.
I'd like to make a motion that we hold this ordinance for a second reading
Okay,
pending performance bonds and receipt of.
thank you, Tom.
I'll second that.
Second by Sherry Tice. Roll call, please, on the motion to hold this ordinance for second reading.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Hallinan.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lucassack.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
All right, it'll be held for second reading. It will be heard at the June 3rd meeting for second reading. Council, that brings us to the new business portion of tonight's meeting. We have a need for an executive session. Katie's got the motion for the purpose of the session.
Thank you, President Keller. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn into executive session per Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22G3 to consult with legal counsel on matters that subject of imminent court action, to include all of council, including President Keller, Mayor Blanton, Law Director Kinney, HR Director Val Dilley, incoming Safety Director Paul Pride, and Chief Brian Thompson.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there a second to that motion? Second by Jeff Hallinan. I will just note to the public that once we go to executive session, when we return out of executive session, the purpose would only be to adjourn the meeting. Roll call, please, for the motion to go to executive session.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Hallinan.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lucassack.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
We'll adjourn to executive session at 7:18. I want to thank all of you for coming.
Thank you.
Can you unplug that?